All right, even in this economy, the American dream is not dead. People still want to own their own home, but it's not an easy thing to do, as you very well know. In fact, recent numbers from the Census Bureau now show that here in Tampa, the number of people who rent their homes now outnumbers the people who have bought their homes. All right, what does this mean? Peter Murphy is with us now, CEO of Home Encounter, a real estate and property management firm in Tampa. And he's been talking with us, as you know, every week here about this volatile real estate market. And Peter, we've always heard it's better to buy a house than rent one here in the long term. But now we have more renters than home buyers. Now, this sure does tell us something about this market.
Yeah, absolutely it does. I think you have a lot of these renters who have sat through the collapse of the housing market over the last 5 years, and they watched people who lost everything to home ownership. That dream that was supposed to provide them stability for their future really turned into a nightmare for so many. And now folks just don't want to find themselves in that position anymore. They don't want to be at the whims of the economy for their financial futures. And frankly, Tampa is it's an up-and-coming community. These people want to be able to have flexibility to move and grow, and may not want to be tied down with a mortgage in a home that they own as much anymore. They don't define the American dream as much as buy home ownership as they used to. It's a big change in the economy.
Compare the cost of owning and renting a property.
Yeah, well, when we look at the median home price here in Tampa Bay, $135,000 last month. In order for you to buy that home and pay the prevailing interest rate, which is about 3.5%, and then pay your taxes and your insurance and your HOA fees and maintenance expenses on that home and everything else, you're going to be out of pocket about $1,282 a month by our calculations. Renting the median home in Tampa, which is just about the same size, will cost you about $1,595 a month, including all your expenses. So it's a 20% savings to own rather than rent in Tampa right now.
Well, you know, that's something we've known for a long time. Cheaper to pay for a mortgage and buy a home than rent and pay on it for a long time and lose the value of the property. But, Peter, I know there's an exception here that can get by you if you're watching every dollar like most people are now, and that's the down payment here. What about that?
Yeah, it's a really big deal because in order to buy that median home in today's mortgaging environment, you have to come up with about $13,000 to $15,000 out of pocket. That's a lot of money for a lot of people here who are living paycheck to paycheck. And in order to really make that worth it versus the savings you get over ownership, it's going to take you about 3.5 years to pay off that amount of money if you compare the savings that you've earned owning versus renting. So that's a long time to actually come up with a savings for that down payment. It makes it so that home ownership for some is just very costly, and something that renting, even though it costs more every month, is cheaper in the long run, at least for the first 4 years.
Yeah, so you got to stay put for a while. You've got to stay in that rental. Well,
yes.
Well, now you peg this on the interest rates here, which are very low right now, as we know. And we all know what happens to low interest rates. They eventually go back up. So what happens in that case here?
Yeah, they do go up. And it wasn't all that long ago when they were 6, 7, 8%. In fact, at the start, before the housing collapse, that's where they were. And in a healthy market, that's where they should be, back up at 7 or 8%. The interest rates only have to go up to 6.5%, which is 3 points above where they are today, for the cost of ownership to be exactly equal to the cost of renting. So interest rate has a big impact on what it costs to own a home.
So the real financial reason why owning is better than renting is the hope that your home is going to appreciate in value. And that's just not happening the way it used to. And we have so many people, as you know, who owe more than their house is worth right now, given the market like it is.
Yeah, that's a tough one. People have relied on that for a long time, and the prevailing wisdom was that home prices increased at 4 to 6% per year. But over the last 5 years, that's certainly not been the case. Home prices have come down 50%. And although we're up about 10% since the start of the year, no one expects that to continue at that rate. We're really kind of correcting from going too deeply in the hole for home prices. So it's not the slam dunk that it used to be. We should expect home prices to appreciate at around the rate of inflation, which is going to be between 2 and 4% here in Tampa Bay. And so that means it's not as wonderful a financial decision as it once was.
So we're not going to see 6% appreciation for a long time here.
I don't expect that we will, unfortunately.
How about this? In the end, how should you decide whether to take the risk in order to buy a home?
Well, you know, what we don't want to do is ever force someone into a decision that's wrong for them. And you don't want to make a decision based upon emotion or things that are not certain. You, as you're trying to make a good decision for your family, you need to make a decision that's going to put you in a good long-term position for promoting wealth and happiness and comfort for your family. And sometimes that's renting. Renting should not have a stigma with it. It's an excellent financial decision decision in an uncertain economic time. It's like we are in right now. And so don't run away from it if it's right for you. Make a decision that's going to preserve wealth and give you the most opportunities and long-term wealth for you and your family. Whether that's renting or ownership, you need to make that decision carefully.
Well, hopefully we've seen it bottom out. You think we bottomed out here?
Well, we might have. I certainly see that over the last 10 months we've seen an increase in prices. That suggests that we're starting to stabilize and recover. Whether or not that will continue for the long term, it's going to depend largely on what the economy does here locally. Will incomes rise in Tampa? Will the employment rate stay low, or stay high? These are things that I think will really affect home prices long term.
Well, let's hope it rebounds quickly
yes,
for everybody's sake. Peter Murphy, thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Very good advice there. He's lost several